like to thank everyone for coming back after lunch. Everyone feel fed and happy and content? Yeah, on this nice wet day. That's me, Jesus, here we go. Okay, so firstly, you can probably point out that that's grammatically incorrect. Once a punk, always a punk. But from a guy that left school with no GCSEs or English, I'll explain that a bit later on. Not to say don't go to school, but I'll explain it. So yeah, let's see if this works. Technology. Oh, that's my birth certificate. Oh, hang on. No, let's go back. Hang on. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to lie to you all now. That is not my real name. So I'm going to come to you with a lie straight away. In fact, I was 3.5 months premature. My parents almost lost me 6 times. And I spent 6 months in hospital. But I was born Nathan Paul. I got a double-barreled first name. Not that I'm an existentialist like John Paul Sartre or anything, but it's a bit weird. So straight away, I had a bit of a normal start to life, shall we say. And also, I don't like speaking in front of the camera. I'm usually behind the camera, so bear with me on this. That was a campaign I did for a film I'm doing at the moment. It took 3.5 hours to put 2 minutes on screen. But I was trying to get the bloopers video. It's very funny, but there's a lot of swearing, so I'm not going to do that. Okay, that's me, little Nathan. I found these last night. My mum was like, what are you getting all these pictures for? So straight away, that's me, about 3, watching TV this close. That's why I wear glasses now. Consuming anything that's visual. As an only child, I kind of quite a solace upbringing as a child, being consumed into this box, watching anything, but notably watching this guy. Who is he? Oh, no, that's me. There we go. Doctor Who. Doctor Who was, for me, my life when I was a child. So in 1991, there was a rerun. The only Welsh classic Doctor Who was The Green Death with John Pertwee, the giant maggots. Brilliant. Put the fear, intrigue, and everything into me. So then I just consumed Doctor Who and science fiction and all of this geeky stuff. So then, in my late childhood, I actually became a dealer, a collectible dealer that used to go all around the country and trade science fiction memorabilia and speak to other geeks and meet all my heroes. And that was quite fun. Very much a lonely childhood, but it was fun. And then I became a teenager. Let's talk about this. Come on, teenager. Come on. Yeah. Go back. Bloody hell. Hang on. Okay. Oh, no. There we go. So let's think about school and education. Education's been talked about quite a lot today. What I don't want to bring from this is that education and traditional routes are wrong, but for me, I went from a primary school to a comprehensive. The comprehensive school for me was out of my catchment area. So straight away, I already felt like I was a minority. There was about 6 or 8 of us from that junior school. We went in on the first day, I said, if any of you mess up, you're out straight away. So that was a great welcome to secondary school. They drilled sports into us quite a lot. I hated sport. PE for me was running around, getting away from the bully, saying get geek, which was fine. Great nickname, I earned that accolade. But sport was drilled into me and all of this, and I was quite fortunate. One of the best things ever happened in my life is when I was a teenager. Teenagers are known to be expressive, adolescent. They're just trying to find an identity for themselves. And being from Newport, I can take credit quite a lot to the music scene here, which has influenced a lot of my friendships and a lot of me becoming a young person. So obviously, young people in any way, shape or form just want to express themselves. They want to have that identity. They want to be unique. Usually is following a crowd or following a trend, like a punk music scene or something like that, where you are a counterculture, you're trying to be a bit different. And obviously there's the authority that you're going to clash with, like in school. But obviously, as a kid, you're just trying to do things different. I was very fortunate to meet some people. There we are. Oh, yeah. Go back. Come on. I hate technology. Oh, yeah. Oh, bloody hell. It's like a stand-up performance, this, isn't it? There you go. Oh, come on. There we go. I was in a band and I played TJs. We were crap, but it was good fun. So, when you're a front man, as weird as it doesn't look like, you just feel like you can own it. It's good. Yeah, that's a long time ago. But, if anyone that's from Newport or knows, TJ's, the legendary TJ's, was a music venue which lasted for like 40 years. And it was like a rite of passage, anyone that's trying to be different. And for me, that was where I went, underage, round the corner with my friend, dressed up in his clothes to try and sneak in underage to the club night, and Johnny Seeker let us in, but he's like, he knew we were underage. But it was a club, and music was a big part of my life and influenced my friendships and me as my identity, etc., etc., etc. Came to my GCSEs, though, an average child, what did I go away with? 3 C's, I think? I had 3 C's, a couple of U's and G's, and they were like, oh. And I was like, well, I don't want, the school, comprehensive for me was very old-fashioned and traditional. There was nothing creative for me then. This was like the late 90s, you know, and I knew from being all-consuming in this visual media and watching film and this escapism that I wanted to tell stories. You know, I wanted to go down and create these stories and take people on these journeys. And, you know, there's traditional fine art in school, and I was terrible with the pen. But even though I had no GCSEs, they turned around to me and said, hang on, you can stay on and do A-levels. I was like, what? I was like, I've got no GCSEs, I've got like 3 C's. I'm like, no, come on, stay on, do A-levels. You can do, what do you like, history? We know you like history. It's like, okay, I'll do history. You can do economics and politics. I was like, what? Why would I want to do that? I can't even count. And I just realised then that it was their agenda and they wanted me to stay on so I could be another tick in their book and another person that shows that they want to stay on in sixth form and be good in this school. I was like, no, that's not for me. I'm going to go to college, I'm going to do a BTEC in media and moving image. It was fun. I started doing some editing, started telling some stories. At this point, I look back at it and I say, imagine yourself as like a funnel. Okay, so maybe start from maybe secondary education. There's this massive funnel. And throughout your life, whether you're 16, 17, 18, 20, 25, 30, 32, hello, you're still getting down this funnel and it's getting smaller and smaller you'll filter it yourself from whatever decisions you make and whatever choices you make, but you're slowly getting to where you want to be. And that funnel does get bigger, it does get smaller, but in essence, you're trying your hardest to steer yourself and you come out the other way. I'm still trying to do that. But yeah, very fortunate to have a lot of friends, but then I made the decision, so I made the decision to leave Newport, something which I'd never think I'd do because I had 57 best friends, biggest community ever in my life, very grateful. You're untouchable, you've got something, you've got these like friendship values which are formed out of music and punk rock and doing things for your friends. You know, punk rock teaches that like the importance of independence, about doing things for yourself. You know, it's very much an independent community where if someone says you can't do something, it's like, well, no, I can do it for myself. I can put out a record. You know, we may not be the best thing in the world, but we did this and it's fun and you're proud of it. And it's keeping those values. So I left uni, I went to Leeds. I was, I think, the first person in my family to leave Newport and Wales. So I was the black sheep. Went up to Leeds and the north. The only thing I knew about was mills and factories and the north. You know, I haven't got a Welsh accent because it disappeared 13 years ago. It wasn't deliberate, it just happened. But I went to the Northern Film School and I was like, film school, let me in. It's brilliant, you know, an opportunity. I got there and sadly I did 2 years on a foundation and it ended up being more like my college course from before. So already the expectations have gone down. And I thought, okay, it's not what I expected because people oversell things and people's like, go on this, it's really good, and you get on. So I got into uni. And then I did 2 years of back and forth and the person I was living with at the time was on the BA and he was doing a First World War film. And I was like, oh, I love this, I love history, I love war. Well, not saying I love war. It's not a good message, plastic war, what's going on? So yeah, I worked on this film, I produced it and I assistant directed it. It was called To End Them All. It's a short film we did on film, actually on film. We built our own trench and it was in February of 2009 when the entire country was covered in snow. I don't know if you can all remember that. That's a trench we built in Barnsley. Me acting busy and all this, but yeah, it was really good fun and that was a really good time in my life and I had something really important to go away from it. But then I left uni then, and then uni teaches you, you know, these things like, so I came out of film school, because it's film school, I went to film school, it's a good thing to have. But then I'm like, I'm going to be an editor. I'm going to cut films together, I'm going to cut stories, I'm a storyteller. And you come out and you're like, it's not as easy as that. And they don't really prepare you. I moved to Manchester and I, at the age of 25, was on a 25k job, corporate white suit, 3-piece suit, bloody financial sector banking job for 2 years. How did I end up in that? Obviously, what attracted me was the money. And some of the speakers earlier on talked about possessions and things. I got caught up in the money and the stability of moving from one place to another. But at the same time, as much as it wasn't me, not to disrespect people that work in banking, but I knew that wasn't the path that I wanted to take. And I was in my mid-20s, a couple of years graduated, in a banking job, saying, take this money, it's really good, go on holidays, buying things, and it's all well and good, but I wasn't happy. So all of my spare time, this is when the BBC moved up to Media City in Salford Keys, I spent all my time networking, going to evenings, trying to build the confidence to see other people like, hi, what do you do? I'm a filmmaker, what have you done? Not much, give me a chance. And people just want opportunity. If there's an opportunity, as much as it's not going to come to you, you need to go out and find it. It's all well said and done because you need to get that self-confidence. You need to do whatever you need to do to inspire yourself and to drive yourself to go out there. So I met loads of people. I spent all of my holidays, my accrued holiday, going out networking and doing video editing. And then in September, I was working at BBC Sport doing editing. I flipping hate sport. I should be a Welshman with a rugby-shaped heart, but I haven't. And I was working in BBC Sport editing. I was like, okay, this is all right. And the director said, cut to Fellaini. I was like, who? And he's like, he's the biggest paid footballer at the moment. I was like, that guy with the afro. I was like, okay, I'll cut to him. But I still wasn't happy. And then I went on for a career in TV. I started working at this point, but let's go back. There we go. That's Media City. It's very nice and glamorous. Actually, before I missed something, when I was in college, I saw a film called Coin Scatzi. If anyone knows it, it's Francis Ford Coppola produced it. It's topical at the moment. Let's talk about Marvel as well. But it was the composer of that film was a guy called Philip Glass. And when I was 16, I watched this in film studies in college. And I was completely transfixed, just like I was when I watched Doctor Who and all this when I was younger. I was like, what is this? This soundscape of vision and music is pure beauty. And that kind of, his music has stuck with me quite a lot. Even though born from punk, his music has helped me in my creative areas and in personal times of my life to get past other things. At this point, I'm going to ask, who on their bedside table in the audience has a picture of someone next to their bed? Raise your hands. Has anyone got a picture on their side of their bed? Okay, out of the people that got their hands up, how many have pictures of more than 2 people? And how many have a picture of a dead person next to their bed? That's me. Oh, 2. Okay, and another question, is it of a person that you've met or you've not met before? So, you've met, okay. So I have a picture of a dead person next to my bed, which I wake up and look to every day, and a gentleman in his late 70s and another gentleman in his early 80s. Those 3 people, when I wake up each day, are Philip Glass, the film composer, Alfred Hitchcock, the film director, the dead man, and Walter Murch, the film editor. So most people have kids, dogs, loved ones, all that. I'm not saying I don't love my kids. I've got kids. Or dogs, or family, because I do. But I wake up each day and look at these people and realise the work that these people have done drives me every single day. I wake up and see these people and they go, go on, you can do it. Go on, do that. So then, I just thought I'd say that because I forgot that. And then, so after that banking career, I started trying my best to get into TV in Media City because it's all glamorous and things like that. But then, coming to my late 20s, I started working for someone who works in TV. And basically, it's probably being a South Walian and coming from a union background and being very strong with workers' rights and all of this. I'm not going to talk too much about politics, but then basically started working for someone that didn't really value their employees very much and didn't really promise what they said. And I could see this, and the experiences I had throughout my 20s, personal and professionally, I saw this, and I was extremely unhappy in my late 20s and thought, no, I'm better than this. You know, I don't deserve to be treated like this. These people don't. I said, I'm going to step away from this TV career that I'd been watching all these years about the BBC and this dream. Not to discredit the BBC, a lot of my friends work there, but this independent company. So I stepped away and I thought, I'm going to finally direct something. You know, I've been wanting to direct films for years. You know, I've always been an editor and put stuff together. And it was over a conversation a few years ago with my father. I thought, hang on, someone needs to tell a story about the music scene in Newport and properly do it justice about this culture and this community of how it shaped so many people's lives. So for the last couple of years independently, I've been working on The Rock of Newport. My first film as a director, as a feature. We finally got around doing some bits of filming here. There we go. Yeah, in Newport, there we go. Benji Webb, local guy. But, you know, the really important thing for me is probably when I stepped away and looked at myself coming from Newport and how important the music scene was, how it shaped me as a person and how the punk rock ideals of, you know, the fact that it said, once a punk, always punk. It's not once a punk, always a punk. You know, I don't look like a punk. You know, I did gel and spike my hair a bit. But it's those punk values that I still keep inside of me about, it's basically a gut feeling. If you think you can do something and someone says that you can't, don't listen to them. Just rely on your gut. If your gut and your heart are saying the same things, just go for it. Who says that you can't do it if you instantly know that you can? And your best friends are also your best critics. You know, your family and your friends are sometimes the best people that can give you good advice, but sometimes they can't. And you need to go outdoors, you need to stretch your legs, you need to do whatever you do to get inspiration, you know, go into work, other bits of creativity. You know, for me, I try and balance my life being self-employed, freelance on short bits of work and spend the rest of my time outdoors, getting fresh air, drinking water. It's good for the mind, you know, and not you know, I'm coming up to 33 now. I'm still not where I want to be in my life, you know, but it takes time. And as much as you have those down points and you think, oh, I can't do this, you just got to pick yourself up, go to the things that inspire you, and give a kind of to the people that say that you can't do it. Because who says that you can't do something, whether it's academics, whether it's, you know, you can do it. You really can. And like, I've started shooting this film, you know, and for me, the first interview I ever did, I spoke to someone from Metallica. And it's like, hi, I'm doing this film about Newport. He's like, yeah, I'd love to be in. I've interviewed like Metallica and the Misfits and the Sex Pistols. Why do they want to speak to me? Because they want to talk some great things about Newport. You know, I feel so blessed with the trust that I've got off people and the people that want to talk about the story. And it's just, I've never been more happier about doing this. And this film will come out next year. You'll see it. It'll be fun. You'll see us running around with the camera and all that. But yeah, don't, you know, that gut feeling, just stick on to that and do whatever you need to do to keep at it. But yeah, that's my TED Talk. Cheers, guys. Enjoy.